So you've got an outboard control box in bits, totally. How do you fit all of this in there? Alright, come with me, I'll show you. So first we're going to take this boss off here, and then the covers off. Put those in safekeeping. Excuse the mess on this bench, by the way. This is not my bench, this is Kyle's bench. And he's a very good engineer, but when he's halfway through a job, by gum, his workstation does get a little bit messy. But we won't hold it against him because he's very good. So, let's pop the control cables out. There's one. Careful you don't lose this little retainer. I usually pop it back in there for safekeeping. At least the previous owner of this control box looked after it well. It's very well maintained, nice and greasy. So once you've got the control cables off, I was a little bit premature with that statement, wasn't I? This one's holding on a little bit. There we go. Once you've got the control cables off, they're kind of in the way for most of this, so we'll put them on the floor. Put all our parts that we're going to fit in over that side, and then here we'll have a little bit of order in order of what we took off. So starting there, we're going to work that way. Take this plate off. There we go. We'll pop that at the back there. So, first things first, let's get the stuff in position. So, the ignition switch, I'm going to need to find a key for that, and the key number is written on the side of the ignition switch. That's a 377 key number, I don't know if you can see that. So I'll grab one of those in a minute, I'll just make a note of that. Let's pull these grommets out because we're going to put kit in their place. Ignition switch will sit there. Kill switch will sit here. Warning buzzer lives just there, like that. And this little jobby, this is your start in gear protection, that lives under here. Just there. Now, I'm going to need a couple of 4mm screws for that, which I'll get now. But a word of caution, this little tang here, the switch, breaks for fun. So when you're offering this up, make sure that it's pushing against there and it's not above it. If it's sitting above it like that, and then you screw it down, it'll just break the tang off the switch. I've got my 4mm screws with locking washers. Let's have a little bit of grease on, there's plenty to spare there. And then we're going to pop it in its new home, which is just there. And note, I made the switch click in before I put it on. Okay, that's in position, let's nip that up. Another word of caution, the plastic on this starting gear protection switch is very, very soft, so don't over tighten your screws. So let's sort out this jumble of wiring. This is your gauge wiring harness, so that goes outboard of the control box. Next, what we want to do is marry up our remote control wiring loom to all the relevant plugs on in the control box. So this is our warning buzzer that goes direct to the pink warning sign. The other one of these is ignition live. There should be 2 ignition lives in here. An ignition live on Yamaha is yellow, so yeah, there are 2. Let's grab one of them, pop it in there. These Japanese bullets, by the way, they've got a very audible click and a positive locking mechanism, so please make sure that it's made a good clicking sound when you push them home, otherwise they can come undone, and if they come undone you've got to take the control box apart again, and you only want to do that once. Right, let's get some more wires connected. So here we've got green, and this is your rev counter feed, tacho feed, and that goes straight into that pigtail which goes back here. After that we've got another ignition live, yellow, which we're going to attach to our other yellow wire. Click. Let's grab some of these and try and sort them out a bit. So we've got a couple of earths here. One of them goes to our stop switch, our kill switch. Click. And the other one goes to, which we'll need a little piggyback for, goes to our wiring loom. Next we have engine start. This is the start wire on Yamaha's. It's brown. It's got to go through the starting gear protection switch and then to our engine wiring loom, so we can start the engine. Click. And then we've got our stop circuit. So there are 2 feeds for the stop circuit. One of them is the actual ignition switch. You can stop it with the ignition switch, and the other one is your kill cord. So we're going to plug that one in there, so we've got a looped connection between the ignition switch and the kill switch, and either of those, or that one is going to stop the engine if we connect it to the wiring loom one. Next we've got choke. This is only used on 2-stroke outboard engines. This wiring loom that I'm doing now is actually for a 2-stroke outboard, so I am going to put it on. You should always put it on anyway. Click. So that's your choke wired in. And then we need a battery feed for our start switch. So we need 2. We've got a live for our ignition switch, so that can power our choke and our start system. We're going to connect that, and also we've got a power tilt and trim switch here, and that needs a positive. So we're just going to make these connections, and then we're going to wire those up. Then we're going to start neatening some of this. Okay, so I've made those connections. Proper Japanese bullets. So they go in there. So that's all the wiring made. Now what we need to do is tidy it all up. Now, as you can see, there's not much room in here at all, especially when I've popped that in there. So you've got to get quite a few bullets up over this bit, and then some in that bit, and there's room in here to put some as well. So the ones that naturally fall up here will be these 2 yellows, these ones, when you're locating them, really important to make sure that they don't interfere with the workings of the control box, because that's just going to rip the wires to shreds. Excuse me if I'm going a little bit quiet at the moment, but I am a man and I can only concentrate on two things at once. So yeah, it looks a bit of a jumble, but they do all fit if you're patient. Trust me, I've done it a lot of times. Okay, so now we're getting somewhere. It's starting to look a little bit neater. I do hasten to say a little bit. Alright, so we're somewhere like there now. We're going to put the cover on, making absolute sure that none of our wires are over the top of any of the turrets, because if they are, if it was bolted on like that, then it would just ground out the warning system and you'd have a constant buzzer on. But there's lots of other problems that you could have if you nipped a wire. Right, there we go. When you're popping that cover on, make sure that the neutral warm-up lever engages with the post, because if it doesn't, then you're going to have a problem. You have to take it off again. So there we go. That's that bit done. If you're wondering how to wire it, then that's all she wrote. If you are wondering how the rest of it goes together, then I will show you now. So the power tilt and trim, the control lever sits on the back side on here, but there must also be a boss on there, which we're going to pop on now, and that just receives the, oh, I've not popped that back on actually. It just receives this little detent so that you can't knock your engine into gear by accident, which does happen quite regularly with binnacle remote controls. So that's going to sit on there. We're going to pop this on here, spin it over again. So these power tilt and trim wires, a little bit on the long side actually, so we're going to pop that down there, bearing in mind the control cable is going to run along here, and then what I'll do is I will lose some of this in here, so I'll whip this cover off again. I won't show you, I'll just show you what I've done. So then all you have to do is fit your control cable grommet as so. And then your control cables. The wiring for the power trim can go between the two control cables, like that. And make sure your E-clips are in the right groove. If they're not in the groove, then they'll just pop off, and you'll be high and dry at sea with no control, no throttle or no gear shift, one or the other. Fit that spacer in between the two cables, just holds them apart. There we go. So I'll just clean the grease off my hands a little bit. The only tricky thing after that, or semi-tricky thing, see this little tang here? No, this little groove here. There's a tang on the back of the power tilt and trim cable cover, which you've got to get in, just like that. And that is how you turn a manual control box into a remote control box, an electric start one. We've got our power tilt and trim switch, we've got our ignition switch, and we've got our kill switch. And we've also got our gauge harness. So I hope that was informative for you. I'm going to put this on the engine and test it now.